Hi, I'm J-Ryze, and today we're going to audit Amouranth's brand. I can talk about a million things to help her brand, but we're going to focus on three. One, investments, two, niche, and three, drama. Some successful investors sort of stay in their lanes, stick in their wheelhouse, stay to one vertical, and that's fine. They like to only invest in what they know or what they're comfortable with or familiar with, and they have no interest in branching out. Other investors have giant empires, like sprawling enterprises that have them investing in all sorts of different areas. Some they know very well, some they know a bit, and I don't believe like one way is better than the other, right? There are successful investors of both kinds. So mainly, I'm just impressed that she's so investment savvy. There's a lot of people, a lot of like OnlyFans girls and Twitch streamers and so on who aren't nearly as invested with such a diverse portfolio as Amouranth. I would say though that one of the best things you can do with your investments is to synergize them. Make them play nice. Have it so all of your investments somehow connect and uplift and support each other. For example, Jay-Z invested in his own rap, his own music, but it wasn't long before he was investing in fashion and streetwear. Streetwear, hip-hop go hand in hand really well. And then a lot of people don't know this, but he also started up translation advertising, which was advertising to urban youth. And it was translating the messages of corporate America into something that Jay-Z's crowd could understand and would get behind. And when his interest in Beyonce grew and they started, partnering up, collaborating, he then invested in things more related to her. And so his investments always sort of synergize together, right? They're all in the same world. And even if they're sort of tertiary or outside the world, they contributed a lot. And I think Amouranth also does that similarly. Like she has a virtual assistant company because when she was expanding her enterprise, she benefited from a lot of virtual assistants. And she has a charmed affair, like Princess Parties company. And again, with her huge cosplay background, this is a fantastic fit. And so I believe she's doing this fairly well, but it could definitely be dialed up, right? It could be turned up to 11. I don't think each of these assets is communicating with each other, playing nice and setting up collaborations and backing each other and supporting each other. I think they're sort of kept separate for now. And there could be a lot of potential there. It would take some focus and it would take some adjustment and take a new approach, but I feel it'd be worth it and it could level up her investments many times. She could do that, and I'm sure she considered it. It's not like she doesn't know that slapping her name on something would be helpful. And I imagine she chose not to because if you put a high-class fashion brand in Walmart, now that brand is associated with Walmart, and it can tank that brand name very quickly. I think putting her name on a 7-Eleven would probably do the same thing. It's smart of her if she avoided doing that, right? Jay-Z doesn't put his name on all his investments either. For example, her social platform, Shush Club, is a crypto-based social platform. And so that social platform and that crypto-based infrastructure could be used to integrate crypto payments for princess parties, right? For a charmed affair. The social aspect of it could be used to source and sell virtual assistants, because a lot of people on social media, especially if they're on her social platform, are going to be interested in that. Right now, I don't see a lot of integration between Real Work, her virtual assistant company, and Shush Club. And I don't see a lot of integration between a charmed affair and Shush Club. And I don't see a whole lot of integration with any of those and Twitch, right? Maybe here and there, but there is a lot of room to create prosperous synergies. So talking about niches, the main thing here isn't really what niche Amouranth is in. You can succeed in any niche. It's not a big deal. People who think that niche selection is super important are usually missing like all the other parts of business and what's happening. Like it's an overfocus, right? It's not really that important. You can succeed in the niche of pep rocks. You can succeed in the niche of bottled Canadian air. You can succeed in the niche of New York trash. You can succeed in a niche of ASMR or cosplay or whatever you want. The more important thing to focus on and realize is how well you can fit your niche to an audience. Like you need a niche audience fit. you need resonance. The content and offerings that you put out in any niche must resonate strongly with a target audience. Because if it resonates weakly with some haphazard audience, this is when your enterprise crumbles. So if Amouranth wants to be in the ASMR niche or cosplay niche or princess parties niche or virtual assistants niche or crypto niche, that's fine. That's wonderful. She can succeed at that. It's just that to succeed in any of those niches, you really have to focus, buckle down, and deliver content and offerings that resonate. And a lot of people, they become successful by having a niche and resonating strongly with a target audience. And they're like, this is great. I'm super successful. And I'm going to take my resources and invest in other things. And I'm going to grow other enterprises. And in all of that excitement, what happens is they forget that the way they got big in the first place was a lot of focus, a lot of energy, dedicated consistently to a particular niche, and crafted and tailored specifically to resonate with a certain target audience. And so if Amouranth is able to remember that and bring that exact same principle to bear on any niche, she can again succeed with it, right? Like you can manifest success in any of these areas. You just have to do it kind of the same way you did it the first time. And it's really easy to lose track of how that happened the first time. So yeah, I personally wouldn't worry too much about what niche she's in. I worry more about how much care and love is each niche and each target audience getting, and how much resonance is truly being crafted between the two. So then we come to the question of how. How can Amouranth create that much resonance in all these different niches if she's only one person? Like, she can only do so much. And you can tackle it in a very logical way. Have other people succeeded with many different endeavors? Yes, they have. Did they all do it all by themselves? No, they didn't. When they did pick a new endeavor that they wanted to succeed, did they know that it was essential to have niche and audience fit and resonance? Yeah, they did. If their schedule was too full, did they just wing it and try to juggle them all and balance them? And that's how they succeeded? Probably not. Did they find a dedicated board member or CEO or COO or someone to take the reins, or business founder or co-founder or assistant to make sure each endeavor got the love, care, and resonance necessary to make it succeed? Yeah, they did. So what does Amouranth have to do if she wants all of these different endeavors to really blow up and really thrive like her Twitch did? She has to find somebody who can take the reins. That's all there is to it. They exist. They're out there. She has tons of resources. She can find them. It's doable. People have done it before. And it might take some adjustment. It might take some priority shifting. It might take some rearrangement. We might have to study hiring practices. We might have to put out calls or auditions or something, or run tests, or burn through a bunch of wrong fits first or something, right? It's probably not going to just magically fall out of nowhere. It's probably going to take some adjustment and change, but it's totally doable. But I don't know. Maybe she's not enthusiastic or thrilled with any of those other projects we talked about. Maybe they were like a lark or an experiment, and she was fine to let them sit there and just be untouched. I have an Instagram account. I haven't touched in a year and a half or something. It could be just that kind of situation. Do I have to go and revive it? Do I need to find someone to put in charge of that Instagram account? Not necessarily. So it really comes down to what Amouranth wants and what enterprises she would like to see succeed. And once she's decided which enterprises she'd like to see succeed, how much dedication and commitment is she comfortable giving them? And how much time is she ready to free up for them? Or how much personnel is she going to source to make sure that they blossom? That's what it comes down to. I'm not saying what she should do either way, but these are the factors to consider. Well, as for drama, let's ask ourselves, can we name any celebrities or any successful public figures who have avoided all controversy? Even the ones that are dubbed as the super nice, non-dramatic types, like Keanu Reeves, if you Google, you will find some controversies. And so it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. Are these public figures controversial because they're public figures? Or did they become public figures because they were willing to be controversial, willing to be dramatic? My understanding is that the masses or other people are super hungry and eager for gossip of any kind. They don't live very grand lives. They're kind of stuck in their little bubbles. And subconsciously or consciously, throughout their day, they're seeking to latch onto any story, any juice that they can share at the dinner table, or talk with their friends about over a beer, or judge and get, self-righteous about, to troll in the comments or whatever. And so if that's what the masses want, then anytime someone's willing to deliver that, they become popular with the masses. And it doesn't really matter if the drama is positive or negative. It could be Kanye shouting craziness from the rooftops. It could be, someone donating some insane sum to charity. It doesn't matter. It's a big, bold move, and it gets people buzzing, and it gives them something to talk about, which is valuable to them. It's valuable to give the public something to talk about because they're hungry. They're desperate for things to talk about, and they don't just want to talk about, I woke up 9 to 5, went to work, came back, had a miserable dinner, and went to bed. They're hungry to talk about something of significance, something of note. And so Amouranth's willingness to be dramatic probably just helped her brand. And in the short term, it might look like it hurts her brand, and there are probably some ways she could handle it better. It's generally better to spin your drama into something positive and shape the narrative as best you can, right? This is why the whole PR industry exists. It generally will increase the value of your brand, but it's kind of win-win. If you're being dramatic and people are buzzing about you, even if it's hate, you win. If you're being dramatic and people are buzzing about you and it's love, it's positive, you win even more. So it's kind of win-win. But if you want to win more, if Amouranth wants to win more, then it's worth developing her skill set for spin. It's worth developing her skill set for narrative. It's worth developing a more articulate presentation of her side of things. And if she's not going to do that herself, then it's worth bringing staff on team to handle all the PR, people who are good at this stuff. And most successful public figures, when they get to a certain size or point, realize that they're gonna need a PR person. They're gonna need someone to manage their public image. And it feels yucky to some people, and people have all these beliefs and quirks about it, like, oh, I don't like this and whatever. And it's like, well, then fine, then don't use it, right? Don't shape narratives, don't spin anything, don't put a positive spin on things, don't present your side of the story. Just be laissez-faire and apathetic and lazy. Just show whatever you want in public and hope the chips fall in your favor. And that's one way to take it, sure. But personally, I believe it's better to shape your life intentionally and take whatever steps you can to make your points and grow your brand. And I don't know, maybe Amouranth is already doing all this intentionally. Maybe everything that people think is, random happenstance and just someone expressing themselves live and so on. Maybe it's all well-crafted, intentional publicity stunts, right? I don't know. Ultimately, everybody is spinning things their own way. Everyone has a bias. No one is free from bias. Everyone has their own desires and hopes and dreams and agendas and beliefs, and they will always move towards those things, at least in the long term overall. And so it would be lovely if there was an objective truth, like this is the fact of the matter, and this is what happened or whatever. But that's not the case, because even documentarians who report the truth are choosing to cut some scenes and keep in some scenes. They're choosing to cut some lines and leave in some lines. They're choosing to use certain image devices or visual devices and sound effects and leave out certain images and sound effects. And so even when they're presenting the facts, they can either present it with dark and scary music or they can present it with happy music. And it doesn't matter. Even the driest, dullest documentary has chosen to leave out certain lines or words, certain context that may have been important. And how did they choose what to leave out or put in? By their bias, by their spin. And so there's no real point in arguing over the truth of who did what and when and why and how. I mean, people love to do it. They're going to debate the truth all day long. But if you are growing your own brand, that kind of thing is not super relevant. As long as you feel that you have a good stance, a good moral stance, and you're doing ethical things and you're behaving to the best of your ability, then you do you, man. Shape your narrative according to your bias, just like everybody else is doing, and don't feel bad about it. Because the same people who are hating on you or calling you out for painting things in a certain light or looking for silver linings, they're doing the exact same thing. Because you can never avoid it. So you might as well get good at it. All right, I could praise Amouranth all day. Absolutely incredible, accomplished incredible things. People want to hate on her because she has an audience of simps or whatever, but she provides a ton of value to the world and she makes a ton of money for it, and she invests that money quite well. And I'm so impressed with what she's done and what she's built and how she's handled the ups and downs of this roller coaster of life. Of course, she's not perfect. None of us are. And there's still room for improvement, and I want to help however I can. And I feel the best way to do that is to massively raise her standards of who she keeps around, who is in her friend circle. And I don't mean you need richer people or you need more successful people or whatever. I mean you need good character. You need high integrity people around. People who have love in their heart and will do the right thing in like every situation, or 99% of situations. You want like monks and oracles, or the most philanthropic venture capitalists around you, or something like Warren Buffett or something. Just really, really fantastic people. They are everything. They do exist, but the way we attract people into our lives, the way we manifest new connections, starts with us inside. We have to change inside, and we have to raise our standards for who we associate with, or who we spend time with. And you can do it boldly and cut everyone out at once, or you can do it gently and like slowly spend less time with certain people and slowly spend more time with certain people. If Amouranth watches this video and likes what I'm saying and digs my vibe and feels that I'd be helpful or a valuable collaborator or just someone good to have around, then drop a comment, say hi, start a connection. I mean, don't go crazy or overboard and start stalking people, but really make it a point to visualize new, wonderful connections, high integrity connections coming into your life. Because Amouranth knows that building a team is great. That's why she has a virtual assistant company. I just don't know if she realizes how important the quality of people that you have really matters, like how much it matters. So that's it. That wraps up my brand review and audit. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate Amouranth. And if any of you want me to review a brand, even if it's your own, drop me a line in the comments and get tons of free wisdom over at J-Ryze.me.